guys, welcome back to part 4. Today's video we're going to be putting in the gas tank in the old C3 Corvette, and we're going to go ahead and try to clean out this fuel line because man oh man is that thing clogged as can be. I know you guys can't see the fuel line too well down there, but there's a clear line attached to it. That puppy is so clogged, but that's our main goal today on this C3 Corvette, is to get that line clean and to get that gas tank in this car, because without the gas tank and without the gas line, we can't get this puppy started. Alright guys, with that said, let's get right into the video and let's start cleaning out that fuel line. So our first method of getting fluid into the fuel pump was using some B12 chem tool in the spray method and putting it into a tub and pumping it with a Harbor Freight pump. And it was working out just fine until the bladder started to get a little soft, and I think it stopped working, and we just intended to use the spray instead, but we tried to see if the pump would work again, but it just wasn't working for us, so we just decided to go ahead and use the aerosol B12 chem tool in the can. It gave us a little red nozzle with the can, so we just put it on there, and I just inserted it inside the fuel line and sprayed it until I filled up the entire fuel line with B12 and let it sit there for about an hour, and then my intentions were to shoot it out with compressed air from the compressor, and you can actually hear the little chunks of metal going through the fuel line too when I'm spraying it. But yeah, like right here.
What was that? You want to see this?
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna freak out.
We did a few passes with the B12 and it worked out great. And you'll see in this next clip the dirt and gunk that comes out, and you can actually hear it hit the cup too.
Oh my God, you can hear the sediment coming out of it.
The last time around, we ran into a little issue, and you'll see here what I'm talking about.
Passes on.
You okay? You okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that fuel line fiasco could have been a lot worse, but hey, you know, make a good thing out of a bad thing. At least the fuel line is unclogged now, and we can get cleaning on it. We're just gonna go ahead and leave some B12 inside the fuel line, just to let it saturate to see if there's any other minerals that are inside there, just to make sure they don't go in the fuel filter. Since we got that carburetor rebuilt, we don't want any foreign materials in that carb, because that would be a shame. Now it's time to put in the new tank, so we're gonna go ahead and start putting some of the old hardware back onto the gas tank. So we're going to start off by taking this cap, and we're going to put the new hose on this side. Just going to put some soap on the nipple here so that the hose goes over a lot easier than just it being dry. Alright, now that we got the hose on the nipple, we're going to go ahead and put the hose clamp over. So now we're going to go ahead and put the filler neck on. Alrighty, so that part we're waiting on, the filler neck, we got it from Bay City Corvette. Nice part. It's not badly damaged at all. We just sand down the surface on the bottom here so that the gasket goes flush with the filler neck. We went with a cork gasket for this. I just had better luck with those. And the filler neck in. Make sure to remove the screw holes. So you want to start with the 2 screws that are far away from each other and continue to do a star pattern throughout the whole thing. So now that we got the filler neck all on there, we made sure that it's all fastened correctly. The seat for the gasket is on perfectly on every side, so it's not on the lip. Before we flip this tank over and put in the sending unit, I'm going to put the cap back on just so that no foreign materials get inside the tank. We want it to stay clean in there. Alrighty, so this hole right here houses the resting place for the sending unit. So this is directional. Put the gasket in right there, and then we're going to go get the sending unit. Now you're going to want to make sure it's all in one piece when you're putting it in there, because it could be a little tricky. That thing, and angle this. Kind of sneak in there. You're going to just want to move it in different directions. There we go. Again, just gonna want to work it around there. Bingo, just like that. Gonna grab the collar here, and that. Getting the collar on there, you might need 2 people to do that. This one was really tight on there. I don't know how your guys is going to be, but you may need 2 people. Once you got this collar on these 3 tabs here, you can get a channel lock plier like this, and you can put it in between these tabs and just slowly twist it so that you're not damaging anything in there. There we go. This is the hard part. You want to make sure when you lock it, you get over this hump. That's what locks it in place. Boom. All the tabs are pushed up against these 3 tabs, so you know it's locked into place. The little dimple is bent over top. The gasket is seated on both sides equally. We're good to go. We're getting somewhere on this thing. Alrighty, this thing's ready to go up in the car, so let's go ahead and change views and get this thing up in there. In this next clip, you'll see one of my good friends, Evan, come in and help me put in this tank. It is very tricky to put this in by yourself, so I would not recommend it, especially if you have a brand new painted tank, you don't want to scratch it up. So I was very thankful to have Evan there to help me out put this tank in, because it would have been very difficult to do it by myself. And we had a lot of nice painted parts that I went ahead and took time doing, so go ahead and enjoy us putting the tank in. Tell me if you guys like this different shot of the GoPro and back to the camera. I'd like to know what you guys think about that. Back it incoming! Thanks. Yeah, let's make sure that the rubber piece is even on there too. This would be the wrong time for me to be dropping nuts right now.
I know it.
As it just drops. Okay. The nice thing about it is the wrench will do. You won't have to put a wrench on that. Let's put the wiring back in. I'm gonna put it on top of the frame so it's kind of clean. And just bring it underneath it. I got it. Back there. Yeah.
Which side's down?
It just goes that way. It doesn't matter. Oh, I see what you're saying. That goes up and up. Now I gotta put in the evap hose. Alrighty, so right now I'm just taking off the old evap hose that's in here. Alright. Get that out of there. Okay. Put the new one. I'm gonna be very careful with these pieces. They are old plastic from the 70s and they do break. Almost as old as you, huh? Okay. Okay. I'll get that too. Alright, got everything up there. Everything's fastened. Now it's time for the filler neck. Alrighty, last thing we need for this tank is the rubber boot that goes around the gas cap. So first thing we're going to want to do is remove the gas cap, of course. I'm going to leave it on top of there for right now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually using brand new parts because the last one is done. So don't use any ordinary tube. Use the tube that's intended for this. There is a tube that comes with this rubber boot. It actually has a spring inside of it, and we're actually buying brand new parts because the old stuff is disintegrated. So we're gonna go ahead and actually feed in the spring inside the tube. It comes with a kit. We just put some hand soap over it so it's easier to put in. Trust me, if you don't put any hand soap on this, it's gonna be a pain in the butt to do, so make sure you put that in there. So we're just gonna start feeding it through just like so.
2 hours later.
Alrighty, well this guy took a little bit longer than intended, but we got the spring in, stretched it through. Took a couple of tries, but yeah, it's kind of difficult. Make sure you got the soap in there. So, next thing we're gonna do is complete the assembly. So now I have all my hardware to the side here. We're gonna go ahead and put this up into the car. We're gonna assemble it first here, then go ahead and put it into the car. Because it'd be a little bit hard to put this line in there afterwards, just because it's kind of not a lot of hand space in there. Alrighty, now that the boot is in and properly seated, let's go ahead and put this gas cap back on, twist it, close it up. Alrighty guys, the fuel tank is in. Fuel line is somewhat clean for right now. Now it's time to go on the motor, guys. So that's gonna wrap up today's video. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching the video today and watching it all the way through. If you guys like this content, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. It helps me put out more content for you guys. Please stay tuned on the build. If you guys want to see daily stuff or weekly stuff, go ahead and check out the Instagram and TikTok. We're always doing stuff on there. Until next time, guys, that's gonna finish up today's video. Thank you again for coming by and checking out the stuff, and thank you very much. See you guys next time.
Let's see what kind of shots I can get with this thing right now.